The night started like any other in Atlanta, but it didn't take long for whispers to turn into shockwaves. Word on the street and on the blogs is that Karlie Redd and Bambi have stirred up the kind of drama that fans live for. During what was supposed to be a casual conversation, the two women allegedly dropped a bombshell, bringing up a supposed affair from Rasheeda's past. Some call it gossip, others say it's long-buried truth, but one thing's certain, Rasheeda didn't take it lightly. Insiders claim her entire mood shifted in an instant, going from composed to furious. And before anyone could calm things down, the tension erupted into a heated exchange. Voices rose, accusations flew, and the atmosphere turned toxic as emotions ran high. Reports suggest Rasheeda snapped, shouting back at Karlie and Bambi with the kind of fire that had everyone around them stunned. Fans are shocked, the cast was left divided, and questions continue to swirl online. Did Karlie and Bambi really expose something hidden? Or was it just another messy attempt to push Rasheeda's buttons? Whatever the truth may be, the fallout has everyone talking. And this confrontation could be one of the most explosive yet. The room was buzzing with the kind of nervous energy that only surfaces when everyone knows something messy is about to unfold. Karlie Redd leaned back in her chair, her eyes glimmering with mischief, the kind of look that fans have come to recognize as the signal for chaos. Bambi, seated right beside her, tapped her long nails on the table, exchanging a knowing glance with Karlie as if the two had silently agreed that tonight was the night to stir the pot. "So Rasheeda," Karlie began casually, her tone deceptively light, "people been talking. And you know how Atlanta is. Nothing stays buried for long." Rasheeda's brow furrowed immediately, suspicion flashing in her eyes. She knew that look on Karlie's face. She knew the rhythm of her voice. It wasn't curiosity, it was bait. "What are you trying to say?" Rasheeda shot back, her voice steady but edged with caution. Bambi leaned in, lips curling into a sly smile. "Girl, don't act brand new. We've all heard whispers. About you, about that situation from way back when. The one everyone thought was over." The room shifted as the words landed, people glancing at one another, unsure if they should speak or stay silent. Rasheeda's hands tightened around her glass, her knuckles whitening. "Don't start with me," she snapped. "If you came here to play games, I'm not the one." Fans later described the moment as electric, like watching a match hover over gasoline. Karlie wasn't backing down, though. She tilted her head and smirked. "Games? No, baby, this ain't no game. It's just funny how you always point fingers at everybody else, but the second your name comes up, suddenly it's off limits." Rasheeda's patience cracked. "You don't know what you're talking about. Keep my past out your mouth." Her voice rose, and people around the table leaned back, bracing for the storm. Bambi jumped in before the silence could settle. "So it's true then? I mean, the way you getting all defensive tells me everything I need to know." "Defensive?" Rasheeda's eyes widened, her voice trembling with fury. "You think I owe you an explanation? You of all people?" She pointed at Bambi, her tone dripping with disdain. "How many times have you been in the blogs for your mess? Don't come at me like you're holier than thou." The back and forth grew sharper, each woman raising the stakes. Karlie, sensing the rising flames, poured gasoline with her next line. "Look, nobody's perfect. We all got skeletons. But it's the lying that makes people side-eye. And you've been real quiet about this one for a long time." The room gasped, a ripple of shock echoing as Rasheeda shot to her feet, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. Her chest rose and fell with rage, her voice cracking through the tension like thunder. "Say what you want, but don't you dare sit here and act like you know me better than I know myself. You thrive on mess, both of you. You can't stand to see somebody doing better, so you drag them down." Fans online later said this was the exact moment where Rasheeda's composure shattered, and it was clear that Karlie and Bambi had hit a nerve. Bambi smirked, unbothered by the explosion. "If it's all lies, then why you so mad? If nothing happened, laugh it off." "But you can't, can you?" Rasheeda's voice rose higher, trembling with fury. "I'm mad because you're disrespectful. Because you think bringing up some old rumor makes you powerful. But let me tell you something. You will never have the power to rewrite my story." Karlie leaned forward, her tone sharper now. "Rewrite? No, baby, we're just reminding people. You built this image of the perfect wife, the strong woman who forgave Kirk and stood tall through it all. But the streets don't forget. The fans don't forget. And deep down, you don't either." The entire room fell silent for a moment, the weight of the accusation hanging heavy in the air. Rasheeda's eyes glossed with a mix of anger and hurt, her hands trembling as she struggled to form her next words. "You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what it takes to hold a family together when everybody's watching, waiting for you to fail. You sit there and laugh, but you could never walk in my shoes." The emotion in her voice caught people off guard. For a moment, it wasn't just anger, it was pain. Fans later said they saw the real Rasheeda peek through, the vulnerability she rarely lets anyone see. But the moment was fleeting, quickly swallowed by her fury. She turned sharply to Bambi, and you. Don't think you slick. You think because you got your little alliance with Karlie, you can double-team me? Nah, I see through both of you. Messy and desperate. Bambi raised an eyebrow, unbothered. Desperate? Nah, I just call it like I see it. And what I see is a woman who's more worried about covering her tracks than owning her truth. Rasheeda laughed bitterly, shaking her head. You want truth? Fine. The truth is, you live for this drama. You need it, like oxygen. Without it, nobody would even care what you have to say. You drag other women just to stay relevant. The tension spun out of control. Everyone in the room frozen as the three women clashed. People shifted uncomfortably, some whispering to each other, others pulling out phones to record. It wasn't just a fight anymore, it was a spectacle, a battle of pride and ego that exposed raw wounds no one expected to see. By the time the shouting grew so loud that no one could hear anything else, the entire set was buzzing with energy. Fans later flooded social media, stunned at how far things went. Some praised Karlie and Bambi for daring to say what others were too scared to mention, while others defended Rasheeda fiercely, arguing that she had every right to snap. The clash wasn't just about rumors anymore, it was about respect, betrayal, and the lines crossed when private pain is dragged into the public eye. The shouting didn't die down. It only grew louder, spilling out like thunder rumbling through a storm. People in the room exchanged uneasy glances, some stepping back as the energy became almost unbearable. Rasheeda's voice carried above the chaos, sharp and unyielding. You think you can define me with your little stories? You think dragging up something from years ago makes you the truth tellers? Nah, it just makes you messy. Karlie leaned forward, her eyes locked on Rasheeda with a mix of satisfaction and defiance. Messy or not, at least I say what people whisper behind your back. I'm not scared to put it on the table. And if it makes you uncomfortable, maybe that says more about you than it does about me. Bambi smirked, tossing her hair back as she chimed in. Exactly. If it's all lies, laugh it off. But you're out here red in the face, screaming. Looks like we struck a nerve, sis. The crowd gasped at the word sis, not because it was affectionate, but because it dripped with condescension. Rasheeda's hands clenched into fists, her nails digging into her palms. Don't call me that. You don't get to call me sis when you spend all your energy tearing me down. Fans later pointed out that Rasheeda's voice cracked with raw emotion, a mix of fury and betrayal. It wasn't just about rumors. It was about being cornered by women she once considered peers. Suddenly, another voice joined the fray, a cast member who had been silent until now. Y'all need to stop. This is going too far. But their words were drowned out as Rasheeda turned her fire back on Karlie. And you. You've been obsessed with me for years. Always in my business. Always digging. Always trying to stir the pot. You don't do nothing unless my name attached to it. Karlie laughed, the kind of laugh that stings more than words. Obsessed? Girl, don't flatter yourself. I just don't like hypocrites. You preach loyalty and strength, but behind closed doors, your story ain't so clean. So when you come at everybody else like you holier than thou, of course people gonna remind you, you not perfect. The room filled with murmurs. Fans later claiming this was one of the rawest confrontations they'd ever witnessed. Rasheeda's chest rose and fell as she struggled to keep her composure, but Bambi's next words sliced through the tension like a knife. You built your whole image on being the strong wife, the woman who stood by Kirk when he messed up, the woman who forgave and moved on. But maybe the reason you forgave so fast is because you wasn't so innocent either. Gasps erupted like fireworks, the accusation landing with explosive force. Rasheeda's eyes widened, fury blazing. Don't you dare. Don't you dare try to rewrite my life just to make yourself look better. Bambi leaned back, unbothered. I don't have to rewrite anything. The streets talk. I don't have to rewrite anything. The streets far. But the damage was done. The fire was raging, and there was no turning back. Producers tried once more to calm things down, their voices pleading, but the women were too far gone. The shouting grew so loud it echoed through the walls, the kind of fight that leaves everyone rattled long after it ends. Fans later flooded timelines with their takes. Some said Rasheeda was justified in snapping, that anyone would lose control if attacked on such a personal level. Others sided with Karlie and Bambi, arguing that they only said what many had been thinking but were too afraid to speak aloud. The family was divided, the audience polarized, and the fallout far from over. As the dust settled, one thing became clear. This wasn't just another argument. This was a crack in the foundation, a wound that would take much more than apologies to heal. And the scars from this night would linger, shaping alliances, rivalries, and storylines for a long time to come. The silence after that confession lasted only a heartbeat, but it felt like the entire room stopped breathing. Then, like thunder rolling in after lightning, the shouting exploded all over again. Rasheeda's eyes widened with disbelief, her voice shaking as she shouted across the table, "I cannot believe you just said that. You sat there for years pretending to be cool with me, pretending to be loyal, and now you want to jump on this bandwagon? You fake." The accused castmate held up their hands defensively, their voice shaky but firm. "Look, I didn't say it was true. I just said I heard it. Big difference. But the way you're reacting right now, it's giving people reason to wonder." The room erupted in gasps, a few people even covering their mouths in shock. Fans online later said this moment felt like a betrayal so sharp it cut through the screen. The hurt in Rasheeda's eyes was undeniable, even as her anger tried to mask it. "Wonder," Rasheeda snapped, her voice breaking. "People can wonder all they want, but the truth is, I've been loyal, I've been strong, and I've been out here holding my family together while y'all sit around gossiping like teenagers. You want to believe lies, go ahead, but don't ever look me in the eye and call yourself my friend again." Karlie leaned back, arms crossed, her smile triumphant. "See, that's the thing. You can scream loyalty all day, but loyalty doesn't erase history. It doesn't erase whispers. And it sure doesn't erase the receipts people been talking about." Rasheeda slammed her hand on the table so hard the glasses rattled. "Receipts? Show me the damn receipts then. Stop talking in circles, stop playing games, and put it out there if you really got something. Otherwise, keep my name out of your mouth." Bambi leaned in, her tone cutting. "You know good and well the streets don't need paperwork to talk. Sometimes the loudest receipts are the ones nobody ever puts in writing. And trust me, people been talking for a long time." Rasheeda's face flushed, her fury bubbling over. Of course they talk. They always talk. That's what they do when they see a woman winning. When they see a woman surviving everything thrown at her, they try to tear her down. I'm not surprised anymore. I'm just disgusted. The energy was boiling, raw and unforgiving. Cast members who had been trying to mediate earlier now just shook their heads, realizing there was no stopping it. One finally muttered, "This ain't even about truth anymore, it's about pride." And pride it was. Rasheeda's voice trembled as she turned back to Karlie. "You thrive on tearing people down because you can't stand not being the center of attention. You've been doing it for years, jumping from one messy situation to another just to keep your name relevant. You don't care who you hurt in the process." Karlie smirked, unbothered. "And yet here we are, everybody talking about you. Funny how that works, huh?" Gasps and nervous laughter rippled through the room. Rasheeda's lips parted. Her words stuck in her throat for a moment before she regained her fire. "This ain't funny. This is my life. This is my marriage. This is my family. And you think it's entertainment?" Bambi cut in coldly. "Well, we on a show, aren't we? Everything's entertainment here. You signed up for it. You wanted the spotlight, now deal with the heat." Those words landed like a slap, leaving Rasheeda momentarily stunned. Fans online replayed that line endlessly, calling it one of the most brutal truths of the night. The fight spiraled deeper. Rasheeda lashed out, her voice rising. "Spotlight? I never needed to create drama for it. I built myself, my brand, my music, my family. I don't need to exploit people the way y'all do. That's the difference between me and you. I'm respected." Karlie rolled her eyes, her tone mocking. "Respected? Baby, respect doesn't erase the whispers. Respect doesn't stop people from side-eyeing when your name comes up. Respect doesn't stop the blogs from printing story after story." The tension was unbearable. One by one, other castmates tried to interject, but every attempt at peace was drowned out by the firestorm. Emotions ran high, voices overlapped, and insults flew like daggers. It was no longer just a fight. It was an unraveling. At one point, Rasheeda's voice cracked with raw emotion. "You don't understand what it's like to hold your head high when everybody wants to see you fall. I've been fighting for my life, for my marriage, for my children, and you think dragging me makes you look strong? No, it makes you look weak." The room fell quiet for a split second, the weight of her words cutting through the noise. But Bambi shattered the silence, her voice low and biting. "Weak? No, weak is hiding behind a fake smile while your whole world crumbles. Weak is pretending you're perfect when you're just as flawed as the rest of us." The reaction was immediate. Gasps, shouts, a few cast members even standing up in shock. Fans online later said this was the exact line that pushed the fight into legendary status. A dagger straight into Rasheeda's pride. Rasheeda's face twisted with fury, her hands trembling as she jabbed a finger toward Bambi. Say what you want about me, but don't you dare talk about my strength. Don't you dare. I've earned every ounce of respect I got, and you will never take that away from me. Karlie leaned forward again, her voice dripping with satisfaction. Respect doesn't erase the past, boo. And the past always has a way of catching up. Before anyone could respond, another castmate stood up, their voice ringing out. Enough! This is tearing everything apart. Y'all so busy trying to one-up each other that you don't even see the damage you're doing. The fans are watching, your families are watching, and all they're gonna see is chaos. But the warning only fueled the fire. Rasheeda turned sharply, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Chaos? This ain't chaos, this is survival. You don't know what it's like to be judged every single day, to have your mistakes magnified, your pain turned into headlines. And now, on top of that, I gotta sit here while these two try to rewrite my past? No, I'm done letting people profit off my pain. Bambi shot back instantly, her voice sharp. Profit off your pain? Girl, you've been profiting off everybody else's pain for years, so don't act like you're the only victim here. If you can dish it, you better learn how to take it. The cast groaned, realizing there was no resolution in sight. The divide was too deep, the wounds too raw. Every word was another cut, another scar that wouldn't heal overnight. Online, fans dissected every second, some saying Rasheeda's fury proved she had nothing to hide, others insisting her defensiveness hinted at something more. The debate raged, the fandom split right down the middle, and the story continued to spread beyond the show. In that moment, the fight wasn't just about Rasheeda's alleged past affair. It was about trust, betrayal, and the cost of being in the spotlight. It was about the scars these women carried, and the way those scars were weaponized against each other. It was about pride clashing with pain, and the explosive fallout left everyone shaken. The shouting had reached a pitch so high that the producers could barely keep control of the set. Every word was layered with venom, every insult sharper than the last. Rasheeda's chest rose and fell rapidly, her voice hoarse from screaming, but she refused to back down. Across from her, Karlie and Bambi sat firm, their expressions daring her to keep coming, their smirks only fueling her rage further. You really think dragging me makes you look strong? Rasheeda roared, her voice trembling with anger. You think throwing dirt on my name builds you up? Nah, it just shows how weak you are. Weak women tear others down, strong women build themselves up. And you will never be me. Bambi leaned back, her nails tapping the table rhythmically, her tone mocking. Oh please, you've been tearing other women down for years? Don't get righteous now. This ain't about strength, it's about honesty. And you can't handle honesty when it's pointed at you. Karlie's laugh rang out, sharp and cutting. Exactly. You've been sitting on this pedestal for too long, acting like you above the rest of us. But tonight? Everybody sees the cracks. Everybody sees you ain't as untouchable as you claim. Fans later said this was the turning point. The exact moment Rasheeda's patience snapped for good. Her voice shook as she shouted back, Untouchable? Girl, I've been touched, I've been bruised, I've been dragged through hell and back. And guess what? I'm still here. Can you say the same? Nah, because you wouldn't survive a day in my shoes. The crowd murmured, some nodding in agreement, others whispering about how raw her words were. One castmate whispered under their breath, This is too real. This is beyond TV now, but Karlie wasn't moved. She leaned forward, her tone dripping with disdain. You know what your problem is, Rasheeda? You think survival makes you better? But survival doesn't erase your past. Survival doesn't erase what people remember. And no matter how much you scream, you can't change the fact that your story ain't as clean as you make it out to be. The tension escalated again, bodies shifting in their seats as if preparing to jump in if things got physical. Rasheeda slammed her palm against the table, her eyes blazing with fury. You don't get to tell my story. You don't get to rewrite my life just because you're bored and desperate for attention. You want to talk about my past? Fine. But don't act like yours is spotless. You both got skeletons rattling louder than mine ever could. The words hit hard, and for the first time that night, Bambi's smirk faltered. She quickly recovered, tossing her hair and sneering, Nice try flipping the script. But this ain't about me right now. It's about you and the lies you've been hiding behind. The crowd erupted again, voices overlapping, emotions spilling everywhere. Another castmate finally stood up, their voice firm and commanding. Y'all need to stop. This is going way too far. Families are being dragged, marriages are being torn apart. And for what? To score points in a fight nobody's going to win? Rasheeda's voice cracked as she turned on them. You don't get it. They came for me. They poked at me, they pushed me, and they crossed the line. I ain't letting anybody rewrite who I am. I've fought too hard for that. Karlie clapped slowly, her sarcasm heavy. Oh, bravo, Rasheeda. Standing ovation for your little speech. But speeches don't erase whispers. And tonight, the whispers got louder. Whether you like it or not, the people watching are gonna ask questions. Those words seemed to hang in the air like smoke. Rasheeda's face twisted with frustration, her fists clenching at her sides. Let them ask questions. Let them talk. Because at the end of the day, I know my truth and I don't need your approval to validate it. The moment felt like a stalemate. 3 women locked in a battle of wills, neither willing to step back. Emotions ran high, voices still rising and falling in waves. But something in the room shifted. Exhaustion mixing with fury, pride tangled with pain. Bambi leaned forward one last time, her tone sharp and unrelenting. Fine, keep screaming about your truth. But just know, the louder you yell, the less people believe you. Actions speak louder than words, and right now, your actions screaming guilt. Rasheeda's face flushed red, her eyes burning with unshed tears. She pointed at Bambi, her voice cracking with raw emotion. You will regret this. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you'll regret ever coming for me like this. The room fell into stunned silence. The intensity of her words, the tremor in her voice left everyone shaken. Fans online replayed the clip endlessly, arguing whether it was a threat, a promise, or just the cry of a woman pushed too far. By the time producers finally stepped in and began separating the women, the damage had already been done. Rasheeda stormed off set, her heels clicking angrily against the floor, her shoulders tense with rage. Karlie and Bambi remained seated, their smug smiles barely hiding the storm brewing beneath their own facades. The cast sat divided, some rushing after Rasheeda to comfort her, others shaking their heads in disbelief at the chaos that had unfolded. The family was fractured, alliances were shifting, and trust was shattered beyond repair. Fans later flooded social media with their takes. Some praised Rasheeda for standing her ground, calling her a warrior who refused to be broken. Others sided with Karlie and Bambi, arguing that they had simply said what everyone else was too scared to say out loud. The fandom split into camps, hashtags trending as debates raged through timelines and comment sections. In the end, there was no resolution. No apologies, no reconciliation, no moment of peace. Just raw wounds, open scars, and the promise of even more drama to come. What started as whispers about a past affair had exploded into one of the most unforgettable showdowns in love and hip-hop history, leaving everyone wondering how the pieces would ever be put back together. What a night. What a clash. What began as whispers turned into an all-out storm that no one could have predicted. Karlie Redd and Bambi poked at Rasheeda's past, dragging up rumors that were better left buried, and in doing so they lit a fire that could not be contained. Rasheeda fought back with every ounce of her strength, her pride on full display as she refused to let anyone define her story. Emotions ran high, insults cut deep, and the entire cast was left stunned as the night spiraled out of control. But here's the thing, no one walked away the winner. Karlie and Bambi got their moment, but at what cost? Rasheeda stood her ground, but the pain in her voice revealed just how heavy the weight of those accusations truly was. The family was divided, the friendships fractured, and the fans left in shock. Was it messy honesty or was it pure betrayal? The line between truth and rumor blurred, leaving everyone with more questions than answers. Now it's your turn. Whose side are you on? Was Rasheeda right to snap? Or did Karlie and Bambi just say what everyone else was already thinking? Do you believe the whispers, or do you think this was just another case of reality TV chaos taken too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I need to hear where you stand on this one. And if you live for the drama, the shade, and the tea that never stops brewing, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next showdown. Trust me, the way this season is going, the best or the messiest is still to come.